Network. I'm your host, Jennifer Sometimes, and we're being broadcast from our studios in Orlando, Florida on the Crossdress Radio Network. We have a wonderful program with you this evening, and I want to start off by saying welcome to everybody and stay safe out there. We have with us our regulars, which is Elizabeth with us.
Hi,
And
guys. Nice to be here.
yeah, we have Elizabeth, and we also have Melissa with us. And we have the man behind a lot of the camera and all the video footage you see, and all. And this is Scott.
Hi, happy and honored to be here.
Yeah, yeah. Scott knows me kind of well. In fact, probably he knows some of the skeletons. So we're going. First, I want to tell everyone that cross-dressers, I approve of your cross-dressing. We are the voice of cross-dressing at Crossdress Radio Network. We're out there. We're around the world. We're in all kinds of neat countries and stuff, and we reach far and wide, and it is so really awesome to be able to do that. Tell us from what country you're from, what city you're from, and we tie the world together, and we're like left-handed people that are all over the world, all walks of life, and you name whatever, they're just there. Same thing with cross-dressers. We're just out there, and we're going to bring us all together. We're going to expand all this and make it in normal mainstream. We are in the middle of our first anniversary. We're doing giveaways, all kinds of wonderful giveaways. I think we've given away a couple of dozen gifts so far. I mean, really neat gifts like the Breast Form Store, Glamour Boutique, On Femme Style, Ulta, Sephora, Sally Beauty Supply, and more. We even have a lot of you are familiar with Julie Rubenstein of Fox and Hanger, and she is giving away a special consultation one-on-one with you for your styling and help bring you together a lot more. Wonderful, wonderful gift that she's offering. We're also giving lots of giveaways on this totally wonderful, awesome book. If you haven't heard about it, it is Living with Cross-Dressing. It is relatively new, about a year old, and this is by Savannah Hawk. She has done incredible work here. She has gone to great depths. This is really the new Bible of cross-dressing. I highly recommend this. It'll change your world. It's changed mine. So it's out here. We're giving them away also.
Hey, yeah. Jennifer, speaking of Savannah's book, tell everybody about the new Patreon giveaway that we're doing.
Yes, everyone that signs up for Patreon for $5 or more and a month will get a free autographed copy from the author herself, Savannah Hawk.
So through the end of this month. So don't wait around, guys. You got to do it
right.
now.
There she is on the back. She's been interviewed on here before. She's an awesome, awesome person. Her research has just been phenomenal. In fact, beyond phenomenal. This book is rich in helping you and your loved ones. This is the kind of book you would like to have your wife read to understand you.
And she said things like, I can tell you what cross-dressing is and what cross-dressing is not, which I found very informative too. So she's definitely knows her stuff about cross-dressing, Savannah does.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Now, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to find out more about me, this cross-dresser that is in front of you right now. Who is this cross-dresser? What's your history? What has happened to you in the past? How did maybe this happen? What about the youth? What has brought you through your life to bring you to this particular point where you're broadcasting out here in a field that you never dreamt you'd ever be in? You know, how did you get here? What was your walk of life? And we all have similar stories, and we can learn from each other. And one of the big things I want to do is, before we get too much into this, there's an aspect of this I want to talk about, because there's a lot of us, we go to our femme side, and then we put the clothes on, we feel the emotions, we do our face, we do our hair, we do the best we can to look good. Then we look in the mirror, and this has happened to me so many times, and I say, oh my God, I just don't pass. I make an ugly woman. Jeez. You know, why? What? Why can't I? I'm working so hard to try to do it right because I don't want to disparage women out there by coming out looking like anyway, in a dress. I want to do it as best I can. Well, you know something? You are doing it as best as you can. When you put your best foot forward for you, whatever that is, people pick up on it. It's the way you carry yourself. The problem is we are born into this world and we accumulate a lot of baggage from our parents, from other children we meet, other adults, whatever. There's prejudices and stuff going on. And I'll tell you right now, I was an extreme racist and bigot. We'll talk about that. And we learn to leave the baggage, the dirt of our life behind.
The leopard can change his spots.
Back. Yes. Yes. If you want to, you can change your spots. You can do anything if you want to. It's the will you have within yourself. If you look back like I did on me, and it's like, I don't like this aspect of me. I want more good in my life. I want beautiful things. I want nice things. I want kindness. And like, so I want them back for me. Why am I giving away hate? And I was.
There's no book on parenting, but so many times, the parents don't realize what kind of impact they have on their children and how, early orientation can develop into, like you said, bigotry and prejudice and all kinds of different negative behaviors. And if they were to realize what the outcomes, like considering the consequences of things, is something a lot of people don't do. And I feel, kind of sad for some kids that grow up to be, negative, destructive people when, like you said, if you just change your orientation and invoke love into your life, then so many things can flourish and blossom,
Yeah, we were talking on the way over, and my dad was born in 1908. He was very prejudiced. Mm-hmm. He really wasn't raised by his parents. He was like the tail end of a dozen kids, and he sort of went out and had to raise himself. He did the best he could at that time. The best he could. That's all he knew. That's all he knew. And he imparted that to me. And you can make a statement, I hate all, and just put it in. And think of the most disparaging words that you could come up with a particular racial or religious group or anything else. And that was normal. And I was that. I was a first-class bigot. And I realized this is not for me. This is not going to get me along in life. How can I have the good? By preaching the bad. Have you ever made a bad mistake when you were happy? And have you ever made a good mistake
when you're angry?
When you're angry. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting it mixed up. Anyway, when you're angry, you cannot make good decisions. You can't. How many times have you said, or you've heard people say around you, well, I'm sorry I said that, but I was just angry at the time and it flew out of my mouth and I said things that I shouldn't have said.
Impulsive.
Yes. So you take yourself back to peace and kindness and you let that rule your life. That means you're under control of yourself. When you're angry, like I was growing up, lots and lots of angers I carried for decades, anger and anger. And strangely, when more and more of Jennifer started coming out, more and more of the beauty of life came in, the more and more I wanted rid of the anger. I wanted rid of this negative baggage from the past.
You were telling me, Jennifer, that your mom was kind of like the only positivity in your life. And you thought that might have affected your, desire for feminism. I
think if, the jury's still out concerning causing the causations, if there are causations other than DNA or something, but it was there. She had kindness and she really did the best she could under all the circumstances, and she liked some of the finer things in life, and whether it be music and other things. And my dad was, it was his house, and if you don't like it, hit the road. And I mean, it was. I thought we were an idyllic kind of a family, but I was fooling myself at a young age. So what I did, I would run and hide my own little room. We didn't have that big of a house. It was 4 boys and my parents, and I wound up taking over what was a laundry room, and that was my bedroom. No closet in it, just big enough for a single bed to squeeze in, and that was about it. But you know what? That was my refuge. And there I found my peace. Because I didn't want the other. I didn't want strife. Why have strife in your life? So like I was saying earlier, when you look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you an ugly person? Are you a mean person? Are you whatever? Or are you really a beautiful person inside that's reaching out, that's trying to come out of that cocoon? There's the real you. You're beautiful. Every living thing in this world is beautiful. Life, the magic of life just being. We are not rocks that sit around. We are living, thinking, breathing beings. We have the right to life as much as any other person or entity in this world on an equal basis.
Jennifer, when you were piloting in your early career as a 747 pilot, and you would go to these different countries, was the diversity and the different cultures, did that kind of help you understand, the goodness of life and people?
Yes. I feel sorry for people that have not had the opportunity to travel the world and get kind of immersed in the different cultures. Flying is difficult, going all over the world and all the time zones, and in a 2-week trip we'll probably cross 35, 40 time zones, and it just wear and tears on your body. And you try to sleep in the daytime somewhere, your circadian rhythm is just totally gone, and you're in a constant level of sleep deprivation as best you can. You're trying to sleep in the daytime, and the maids are knocking on your door, and the elevator bell is dinging, and all kinds of stuff. So you do the best you can, But even so, fly all day, fly all night, and you just drag yourself into Brand X country somewhere, and you get in the cab or something going to take you to the hotel, and the other guys, they just fall asleep in the cab. I got energized because what was so wonderful is I'm in this other different culture, and we're driving down the street, and it's morning, and you see whoever they are in their unique clothing, and getting to open the little business. So you open the door, and they got like a newspaper they pick up, and going in, they're getting their day going, and people out walking their dogs, and little kids are starting to run around, and all this sort of stuff. It is so amazing. And as much as life is different, it's the same. And I came up with this saying after seeing all this from country to country to country to culture to culture to culture. The beauty of life is defined by the diversity of life. It is so beautiful and so wonderful and so magical. People still love their kids. It's not the money you have or the education you have or the anointment of the special somebody or whatever, meaning another human being. It comes down to the beauty you have in yourself and expressing it, the love you have in your heart for others, and the new day dawning and whatever. It's the carrying the old baggage, the old stuff in life, and looking in the mirror and saying, I'm just not pretty. I'm just one ugly bitch trying to look pretty. I can't get my lipstick right or something. You're trying. You go to a foreign country and you try to talk a little bit of their language. You just massacre their words. But you know what? They still are enthused that you're trying.
Jennifer, I thought you were going to take this in a different direction. Before I left for college, and at the young age of 15, My aunt gave me a lot of interesting advice. The work hard, play hard, study hard, which was like, oh, okay. But further, she said, remember, no one knows you where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
You can be anyone that you want to be, and nobody knows any better. So
Yep.
be who you want to be. And I've run with that. So when you said that, you go to these countries and it invigorates you and you're alive, I thought maybe you were going to say that you could be anybody that you wanted to be in these uncharted territories for you because they didn't know you there. But I enjoyed your beautiful story about the exoticness of other countries and their way of life.
It's fascinating to see how countries operate, the foods they have. I mean, they got strange looking money. They got strange looking foods. Ever taste it? It may look strange, like, I don't think I want that. Try it. You get some really good stuff out there, and you're the one that misses out because you limit yourself.
Were you able to do as I was just talking about, or were you restricted to, I've got to run into people I know in the hotel, or, so was there a chance to dress, or is it just
No, I never dressed going out there because we're talking about a time different than it is now, that's for sure.
Of course.
And
Local laws.
oh yes, there's I started flying back in 1970.
Wow.
Flying internationally all over the world, and the world has changed an awful lot.
So a guy in a dress, even,
yeah,
it's very,
and I didn't want to. And then what if something happens? A misunderstanding. You're in a different country. Their laws. I'm a foreigner. Then the airline says, well, you have to go fly the airplane. Well, they got me in the jail. I'm under house arrest or something. And then the airplane can't move, and they're losing millions of dollars because of that. So I've got to be respectful to my responsibilities overall.
Hey, Jennifer, we have a great comment from Kat. Apparently, Kat, longtime listener, had trained to be a pilot.
Oh.
And for circumstances, did not actually do it. Wanted to be a pilot, wanted to go maybe in the Navy flying, but it didn't happen. But hearing that you were a 747 captain really inspired her because of, the era that you're coming from, especially. And now that makes her feel really accepted that you're saying, I support your cross-dressing, and it's okay to be a cross-dresser and still have that masculine, career or aspect about yourself. And it just makes her feel, like she really admires your bravery, and it makes her feel accepted that it's okay to have these, different facets.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you very much, Kat. I really appreciate that. And I want to touch a lot of people like you. And I want people to understand that cross-dressing expands yourself, the being you are, the presence you have in this world. Instead of getting locked down into a very narrow bandwidth that lots of maleism is, we're able to expand ourselves into other areas and appreciate those areas, and we know so much more about life and acceptance of life. Life is infinite differentiation is what life is. Everywhere you go is something different. The weeds along the side of the road are all different. The flowers in the field they look alike, but they're all a little bit different. There's differences everywhere, and that's where our beauty is in our differences, and embrace those. So don't look upon yourself in any negative sense. Take a look at yourself and realize that you are a beautiful, special being. There's no one in all the world like you. There's no one. And you have the choice to accept the beauty into your life or the pain. There's people out there that would like to take yourself, your being, and away from you and dominate you, put you under their thumb, make you believe certain things. And that's wrong. No one should do that to anybody else. Be firm in yourself. Stick up for you. You can be nice. You can be kind. You don't have to be hateful or anything else back to anybody else. You can simply say no.
I have
That's
a saying
it.
that's like it goes kind of like I hold two separate, completely different, opposing things in my mind at once, and hold them both to be true. So, like Jennifer and I were discussing earlier on, I can imagine that I am the center of the universe. You know, that all the cosmos revolves around me. That's just at the focal point of everything. But also that I'm a complete speck of dust. You know, not even a pixel in the whole scheme of things. So I hold those both to be true, and then I aim for somewhere in the middle. It's kind of a way of looking at my sense of happiness, anyway.
Well, one thing that I've kind of has gelled in me with my cross-dressing is the more I let go of the past, the pain, the prejudice, the bigotry I had. I mean, I was all that, and I'll admit it. And thank God I got rid of that and got away from that. And go to the beautiful side of things. Realize everybody is beautiful in their own way. And we should respect everyone back and forth for being that. Just because they look different doesn't mean that they don't have the same humanity as you have. I joke with some people. I say, you know, there's no difference between you and me. You know, I bet you put your skirt on just one leg at a time like I put mine. And then they chuckle because they have no idea that I'm even a cross-dresser. But I bring it up anyway just to kind of, you know, have fun with them. But don't make it that serious, but get the point across. Then people will think at that point, if you're going head to head with someone, they're going to be defensive. They're going to close off their minds. You got to keep their minds open. And then you can reach and all. But the main thing is don't allow yourself to let anything negative in the past. Someone said this to me. Uncle so-and-so did this. You know, there's childhood rape. I hate to say it, but it is real. And it happens to both boys and girls. The idea is that as difficult as it is, you need to let that go. Because the you now is what's important. There's only the ever-present now. You can bring up the past, and you can mentally try to relive it. But what does that do? That takes you back to the past and keeps you there. And lets all that hurt continue to fester within you. Don't do that.
I think it's so important for people to free themselves of that past. And self-forgiveness is a big part of it. And it's, even if it's not your fault, and chances are it wasn't your fault, whatever your hang up is, but to forgive yourself and then to let it go. I think you were mentioning you had a friend, and I'm not even know if I should say their name, but that was a cross-dresser, and that she'll never go out or do anything because of fear from her past.
Yes.
Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah. You know, this person used to go out a lot, but then let the fear more and more develop and envelop her. It enveloped her. And now she's more and more afraid to get out. And why? When she does go out, she looks like a woman trying to cross-dress as a man. I mean, it turns into being kind of really weird, you know. And it's the person is all tied up in their past and all other issues. Let it all go. There's only so much you can do in a day.
It's not falling into the river that drowns you. It's staying submerged in it.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
That's pretty profound.
Yeah, it's pretty wet.
I mean, it's pretty heavy here for a Friday night, but we're already heavy. And
well, the thing is
present.
that every one of you is awesome. Every one of you are. And so you like to cross-dress. So what? You're getting to learn this whole beautiful aspect of what women are. And if the women out there would take a moment and think, hey, I got a guy that wants to know more about me and what makes me tick and appreciate me, that could be a pretty good thing. And you know what? It is. And it comes down to education. That's what we're trying to do here, you know, on my show, Free to Be She, is to help you and your loved ones. This is nothing what people think. When I grew up, I remember my mom sitting me down as a little boy and saying, "Don't you ever go around any guy that's wearing a dress. Run, run. He may kill you."
What if you're in Scotland and he has a kilt on?
That's Scott.
I can handle your light work for you if you like.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that the things of the past, the old dead, things that you may be hanging on to from a dozen, 20, 30 years ago or something, let them go. They're not worth wasting your time on. Think of something really beautiful, okay? Go try on something new. Try on some new color nail polish or something.
Diane Jane mentioned that her father was a coal miner.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went off and got an education and, you know, came back and spoke differently and had different points of view, and just learned that eventually she just had to change the way that she talked, or not talk about certain things for him or with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, yeah.
sometimes that's just, they're still your family,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not going to change. And sometimes they're not going to change. So it's just choosing to let that be. And that doesn't have to be the center of your world. They're part of your life, but they're not your life.
Yes. And no, the word you just said, choosing. So it's like me and my dad. I love him. He was never around. I could have had some guidance. I'd kind of, grow up teaching myself about life and things, but still, he did a heck of a job having an 8th grade education, feeding 4 boys, taking care of his wife, and they were together like 50 years. And so there was a lot of really good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I let the pain go and I take the beauty with you. You want to take the beauty with you. Yeah, I'm divorced. I left the marriage. I couldn't take it any longer. I was an abused husband. Yes, we were together about 20 years. But I couldn't take it any longer, and I left. I have taken a lot of effort in the intervening years to let the negative go. It still comes up, and sometimes it's healthy just to talk about it, because I can see it then, and then I can start releasing it and letting that part go. We had some good times, and I appreciate those. And I want to keep carrying those forward. Carry the love with you. Carry the love with you. When you look in the mirror, look for the good. And it doesn't have to be physical. Not at all. Because, heck, I try, even to this day, look at me right now. Here I am. I'm still a guy in a dress with some makeup on and stuff, and all, but I'm me. I'm out there. And you know what? People respect you. I've had so many men tell me, I wish I could do that. And man, you have the balls, like, I commend you. I've had lots. When men give me a critique, it's always positive. Always. I've never had anything negative from a guy. That's the honest to God truth. Women are really great because they look at the deeper person. Not, men are physical. You look at the physical traits and that kind of thing. So that attracts us. And women look at the deeper. You're a good, kind soul. You're a good person. It's like, okay, fine. I'll help you get, because, you want to look a little better. I'll help you. It's not about you dressing as a woman as much as it is the kindness and love that you express to the world and to other people, who you are inside, the truth of you. Who is your authentic self?
I've got a good question for you, because my mother brought up to me the other day, and I want to know your thoughts on this. That she noticed a cross-dresser, but he had I believe she said like a full beard, but at least a really strong 5 o'clock shadow. And it didn't seem like he was trying per se. So either it could be a cross-dresser that just hasn't educated themselves enough and just aren't there, Or, and I said, well, mom, or maybe the person's just non-binary and they just want to wear a dress, but still have a beard and be a dude. So what are your thoughts?
I think it's the latter more than anything else.
And you like to really try to honor the spirit of being a woman.
Yes.
So what I guess, what's your point of view on that?
Yeah. First off, like most all cross-dressers, I love women. I adore women.
They're all beautiful.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah. And the thing is, I love them so much. I want to be part of them. It's like I can't wrap myself around the fact that guys say, hey, this gal here, this girl there, all this sort of stuff. Gosh, I wish I could talk to her or something. And then they got all the male stuff they're into and the ego and all that sort of stuff. And amongst themselves, it's like, well, I like the women too, just like you guys do. So I'd rather be around them than you. Why do I want to hang out with a bunch of guys that's going to talk about their egos when I can be around ladies, and I can be part of something really wonderful and beautiful? So there's a certain terminology that I've seen photos and read a little bit about men that want to stay, and you usually always wear a beard because you want to have something very, very defined in their maleness. And they'll put dresses on and all, but yet they want a very strong maleness still shining through on that. And I don't see that in the cross-dressing side. There's some other subset or something, and so I don't play that in the equation with cross-dressers. And I use cross-dressers versus transvestite, which is the original terminology of it, because people have gotten conflated transgender, transsexual, transvestite. Trans is about 4 other different trances, and they're all kind of grouped together, and so we come waltzing in, and it's sort of like, well, oh yeah, you're part of that group. Well, no, we're not. We're kind of like the big exception to that group. That's why I use cross-dresser to take that word trans away from that, so people can kind of start realizing we are a separate little entity in our own right, and we're not really part of the other. There's some similarities in some senses, yes, but for the vast majority, and for those family members and loved ones, that are trying to figure us out, cross-dresser is a far better way to go with this. Far better way. It makes it easier for everybody involved.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think of it back to when you're in school, you're like in elementary school, and you had to do those little web graphs, and you have, here's cross-dresser in this circle, and then line down, here's non-binary, line down, here's gender fluid, and there's all these different little ganglions coming off of that original cross-dresser. I think there's a lot of different avenues that people can go down now that are kind of under that subheading.
Well, what I see is that the vast majority of that chart is the trans side, which generally speaking is gay, and they want to be a woman. They want to refute their maleness and become female, either mentally, physically, or physically to some point that gets them down that road in that direction. We don't want to go there. We want to stay our male self. We enjoy coming to our feminine side, which wells up within us. It's a beautiful something that comes to us. And the emotions we feel, I know that my emotions are far different than my male side, and they're beautiful. And I think of all these guys out there that have never experienced these kind of emotions. Women talk about their emotions and stuff, and I can kind of begin to understand some of this. And it's wonderful to be able to touch on that. But we kind of really have our own separate little universe. That's so very misunderstood. But I'll tell you, in my life, what what really unlocked my self as a human being, not talking about the cross-dressing or anything like that, but just as a human being, what took me the biggest steps in life was letting go of the negative of the past and telling myself, why would I want to recreate that? Why would I want to bring the pain back again? Keep the love, keep the beauty, take that forward with you. And then I found that when cross-dressing, because it came to me later in life, although I realized that seeds were planted, and I think there have been a lot of emotional, heavy things that occurred in my life that probably keep it suppressed versus the generalized most males that it comes to them in, the 6, 7, 8-year-old, whatever. Maybe that was destined for that, but then other situations came up that it was suppressed, one after the other until I got later in life. And then it was prime, and it came out, and it was a beautiful thing. And it really changed my life again in a very positive way. When I grew up, I was extremely shy. I would hide in the corner. I didn't have any friends. Well, who would like me? Who would like me? I mean, I felt like, well, I'm just like, the mistake. I got shortchanged in that line before when God passed out stuff or whatever, and so I was afraid of so much in life, fearful, all kinds of things, because there was so much fear around me to start with. So I was fearful of the fear. So I'd run and hide. And I did that for many, many years. And it was flying then when I made a concerted decision I was going to become an airline pilot. And I didn't have two nickels rubbed together. And I went the civilian route. I went out to the local airport and rented a little Cessna 150. And you won't believe it, back then they're renting for $5.50 an hour, and you buy the gas. That's like nothing these days. Unbelievable. You could have got a Cessna 140, if you know what that is, and for $4.50 an hour. A little two-seat, tail dragger, had fabric wings, but it flew. It flew. It gave me freedom from the problems, freedom from so much, and expanded my mind. Always let your mind expand. And I went in that direction and dedicated myself.
That flying would be an expression of freedom. People's desire to fly is to defy gravity and defy, their escape the earth where their problems are, and to focus on this one effort.
Well, to some point, but at the same time, it also gave me control. I'm flying the airplane. I'm in control of the airplane. I'm in control of my destiny, in a sense. Mm-hmm. And I'm expressing myself. I'm flying. I'm expressing myself in flying the airplane. I'm expressing myself in where I go and how I get there and whatever. In flying, I was able to do that. And where I get on the ground, and I just never felt like anything, And then later in life, it was cross-dressing. And I'll tell you this story. Because just before I went out in public the first time, my first time out, I had a conversation with me. How am I going to act? What am I going to do? Am I going to go hide in a corner somewhere? Maybe they won't see me if I hide in a corner, a dark corner somewhere, and there's one of these fake bushes in a pot, and I can put that in front of me and hide behind that too. I thought, no, that's not going to work. They'll probably send security over, like, who's that weirdo over there? He's in a dress? Huh? Hiding like that? No. What you do is you're proactive. And I've mentioned this before. I said to myself, I'm going to be proactive. So I forced myself from being the wallflower as a guy to my femme self stepping out and saying, hello, hi, how are you? Whatever the situation is. And I took control. And by taking control, I was able to let everything fall together. And I realized that it makes it so much easier because you lead the conversation and you show people that you're a nice person. I'm going to do a lot more talk about this because I think it's so profoundly important. We ought to do something on Patreon maybe with this. I don't know. It's just amazing. You know, what you can do to help yourself and helping others and bring the whole cross-dress situation that you're involved in that public venue all around, and you have everybody there happy to be with you. And they're going to go home and they're going to say to their family, gosh, I met the neatest guy. Well, girl, let me tell you. And that's happened so many times. And there's ways of doing that just is, touches your heart, touches their heart. That's the goodness. But you can't do that if you harbor hate, anger, and you're constantly bringing all this up in you. It festers inside of you. Let it go. It's not worth it.
I don't think I've ever met anyone who is stuck in the past who is happy. I've met so many people who can bring up traumatic times in the past like it's in their back pocket, like it happened yesterday. They can describe everything to a T that happened 15, 20 years ago. And then there's the people who think they can predict the future. They have a crystal ball that works. And when they're, oscillating between those two, they're never going to have a sense of satisfaction in the moment.
Yeah. Like I said, all we ever have is the ever-present now. Mm-hmm. What are you doing now? Are you sitting there saying, oh, woe is me? Well, we go through that. I get depressed still, but it's okay. You go through it. What I tell myself now is, oh, yeah, Jesus is a bummer, whatever, but I'm not going to let it get to me that far. So I'll come out of it and move on. We're still human. We're still human.
And we're always growing, always learning.
Yes. Always learning, always expanding yourself. And you know what? We're getting here to about pushing a quarter till, and I want to give away some stuff. Just real quick, we're gonna make some fast stuff here.
Okay, real quick though, let me say that if you've been seeing names and such scrolling around here, those are our previous winners, and now we're gonna give away some more stuff. So there you go.
Okay, what we're gonna do real quick. I don't know if Melissa has a list, but I'm gonna start off with a couple that I have here. I got Marcy Smith, Marci Smith. And I put these things, I'm just going to grab one. They're all, I shuffled them all around. They're upside down with nothing on them here. And then we have, what is it?
Looks like a book.
Book. Okay, you get Savannah's book. So Marcy Smith, you get the book. Alrighty, next is Beverly Phillips. Beverly Phillips. I like that name. My late brother, he passed about a year ago, was Philip. And that's special to me. So, Beverly, here's something special to you. I'm going to pick out what's on the other side of this one. What is that?
Glamour Boutique, $50.
$50.
Very nice.
Glamour Boutique. Ooh, good girl. All right, what do we have here next? We have Fanta, F-A-N-T-A, The next word is F-A-N-T-A. So, let me see. How about this one? And what is that?
Victoria's Secrets,
$25.
Very nice.
Jeez.
Yeah. Infante. Who's next?
Okay. Next is Morgan Hartman.
Morgan, come on down.
Come on, Morgan.
You're the next contestant.
Morgan. Oh, it's Hortman. I'm sorry. I messed your name up. What do you have here?
Looks like on Femme.
On Femme, $50.
Very nice.
Okay.
I'm going to take any IG and Facebook winners.
Yeah, you have something?
Yeah, I have It's Vanessa 19901 from Instagram.
19901?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead and give us a prize.
Oh, that's me. My turn.
Slacking.
What is that?
Glamour Boutique, a $50 gift card. All right. See, those folks watching us on IG are not missing out on anything.
Okay, another one.
From Facebook, Bonnie Marie.
Bonnie Marie.
Yo.
Okay, how about this one right here?
Okay, Sephora, $25 gift certificate.
Sephora.
Very nice. You got another one you want to do real quick here?
Okay, you got another one for us?
Sure.
Here, Scott, pick one.
I shall do that.
Oh, yay! Josie Shoemaker 12318, and Josie has been a longtime listener, and I've had many conversations with Josie on Instagram, so that makes me excited.
Looks like a $25 gift certificate for Josie from the Breast Form store. That'll get you started. Very nice.
Okay, you got another one?
I can do that. Let's see.
Well, while you're waiting, we're going to do Daryl Saunders. Daryl Saunders, what do you get? Book.
It's upside down again.
It's upside. Okay, well, I'm trying to be whatever.
You get a cube. That could have gone really, really wrong.
You got one for us?
Yes. Tabitha Girl.
Tabitha Girl.
Uh-oh.
Tabitha Girl.
Watch the reach.
What do you got?
iTunes, a $50 gift card. Wow. That's pretty cool, actually. I like it.
Okay, you got any more?
I could do another one.
Okay.
Okay, we've got The Right CD.
The Right CD.
Yep.
For a second there, I felt like Johnny Carson. Sally's Beauty Store. You get a $25 gift certificate. You can run wild there on $25.
Okay, I'm going to give one to Super Mickey 22. Pick one.
It's another gift certificate. This one is $25 to the Breast Form Store. Very nice. We'd like to thank you all.
You got
for
one more?
participating. Mm-hmm.
I could give you one more. Courtney 19791.
Courtney looks like our final winner for tonight.
Yep, and you get that.
Ulta, $25. Very nice.
Fabulous.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Now, we did that hopefully record time.
Yeah, really. Actually, it didn't drag out this time. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. I'm learning my lessons here, folks, so we can get more content in and get more gifts out to you. I'm sending stuff out. It's a lot of them are in the mail. I'm having a hard time finding some of you out there, so please get a hold of us. You see they're being scrolled on here. Go back, look, make sure that if you're on that list, let us know. Get a hold of us. Anytime you make a comment on our YouTube site, it sends me an email, so I get those. So send me something. Also, my email address is jennifer@crossdresstravel.com. So I want to get your prizes to you as quick as we can. So we're coming up to just about it. We can talk more and more about all these things, and I like doing this because I like just talking right off the cuff and a lot about me. I've got nothing to hide. Like I said, I was a racist, a bigot. I was as bad as they were. I wasn't mean. I didn't do terrible things and hurt people, and physically anyway. But said and with a lot of meanness and intent sometimes, and that was me. But I changed because I wanted to change, and I'm so glad I did. You can make the changes too. Don't let the past grab you and hold you back. It's like an old dead graveyard. Let it go. Enter the bright, beautiful meadow of life. Live there in your mind, the goodness. Always seek and look for the goodness, and the more you do, the more you realize it's there, and the more avenues you'll see that you can give that beauty and love out there. So to our regular audience, I want to say thank you all. We love you so very much. We'll do this again soon. I thoroughly enjoy talking about where I've been from because I've had wonderful lessons in my life that I could pass on to others, and hopefully it'll make a difference in your life. That's what all of this whole YouTube radio stuff is about, is helping you, your loved ones, and your life. Thank you very much. Love you all.
Don't forget to go over to the Patreon where we're going to be talking about how Jennifer hid her lady things as a pilot through customs.
Mm-hmm.
So you might get some tips and tricks. And also, don't forget, if you join our Patreon this month at a $5 or above level, then you get a personal signed copy by Savannah Hawk of Living with Cross-Dressing.
Wow. Thank you all very much. We'll be back next week again. Go over to Patreon, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.